Did I think this was giving Wattpad? Yes. It's not giving what it needed to give. This was giving 50 Shades, but better. Hello and welcome back to another video from MissMaddyChats, and today we are ranking popular romance BookTok books, and of course my opinion is facts. Your opinion doesn't matter, so don't leave your opinions down below in the comments. I don't want to hear it. Anyway, let's get into it. My tier ranking scales include TikTok meme references because of course this is a BookTok ranking video, so we've got to stick with the theme. Starting off from the bottom of the pyramid, Maddie. Of course, I love a dance mom's meme, and my name is also Maddie, so I feel like that's very fitting because of Maddie, why did I read that book? I don't know. The next category is just slightly above that, and it's, oh my god, what is that? What is that? I don't understand what I've just read, why I wasted my time reading it, and I mean it's not the worst, but it's also like very questionable. The mid category is it's not talking to you that I'm standing on business because yeah, this is good and it did what it needed to do and it served. And then the one above that is my Shayla. This is like my baby. Like, you can't really say much wrong about it. And if you do, I'll probably cry. And then the top number one category is Raise Your Yeah. Now, the reason why this is the top, it's like, I could go on about this for days. I could never forget the plot. It's always a 5-star, 6-star read. What differentiates this top column to my Shayla is Raise Your Ya. It's actually doing something. It's changing the romance landscape. It's added something to my life. It's added something to the BookTok genre. And my Shayla is like, it's cute, it did the job, but it's nothing groundbreaking and revolutionary, if you get what I mean. But let's start off with Funny Story. Now, Funny Story is, yeah, it did what it needed to do. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. And I also thought it was like a bit of a different Emily Henry book and one that I really enjoyed. So that is going to go, It's Not Clocking to You, I'm Standing on Business. The next on the list is The Love Hypothesis. Now, I enjoyed this book. I thought it was very different to the usual BookTok books. There's not many sciencey romance books. However, I cannot remember a single thing about the plot other than them both being scientists. So this is going to go on the, oh my god, what is that category. The next book we have is Final Offer by Lauren Asher. Now, I can't even remember which Kane brother this was about. I do remember it was very long and it was fun, it had great banter, but other than that, I don't really remember much about it, and I think Lauren Asher actually has better books, dare I say. So I'm gonna go on, oh my god, what is that again? The next book is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. Now, I feel like this did what it needed to do. This kind of skyrocketed Anna Huang's author presence, and also like BookTok went crazy over it. However, did I think the main character Alex was cringe? Did I think this was giving Wattpad? Yes. Did I really enjoy that singing One Direction performance? No. So I feel like, unfortunately, as much as I like Anna Huang, this is going to go in the bottom of the pyramid, Maddie, because what was I thinking? Okay, the next one is Hopeless by Elsie Silver. Now, out of all the books in the Chestnut Spring series, this did absolutely nothing for me. I thought the romance was just odd. There was not much chemistry. And low-key, I was bored. I was bored reading this book. So unfortunately, Elsie Silver, this is again going on the bottom of the pyramid. Okay, now Twisted Games, however, this is like my favourite of the Twisted series. Reese did what he needed to do. This book was giving Princess Diaries in the best way possible, and all the other 2000s princess rom-coms that came up at the same time. I just feel like, yeah, has this plot been done before? Yeah. Is it cool? Yeah. And did I enjoy it? Yeah. So I'm actually going to put that on It's Not Clocking to You that I'm standing on business because Twisted Games did what I needed to do, and I appreciate that. Okay, before I let go, there is no doubt about it, this is on the Raise Your Ya category because this book literally has changed my brain chemistry. I'm in shock that I hadn't read this earlier, and if you haven't read this book before, I am pleading with you, go read it right now. Your life will be changed. It made me cry, it made me laugh, it made me smile. I was giggling and kicking my feet, but also there was tears rolling down my face. So of course, that is such a Raise Your Ya book category. Next on the list is Icebreaker. Now I feel like when you think of BookTok romance books, Icebreaker comes up on the top of everyone's mind because there is so much controversy around this book. And let me just put it out there, I am an OG Wattpad lover, and I read this book whilst I was on Wattpad, and for Wattpad standards, it was very good. But then looking back on it, there is just like not much plot to it, and I think there are better sports romances out there. However, it did what it needed to do, and I don't hate it. so I'm going to put it on It's Not Clocking to You That I'm Standing on Business. Daydream, however, by Hannah Grace, I'm sorry, that's going to go on the oh my god, what is that category, because I could not tell you a thing about this book. I remember being so excited for it because it looked like a really cozy, cutesy book. Generally, I don't remember much, and I also remember being a little bit annoyed at the main characters, and that's about it. So yeah, that's just gonna go on that oh my god, what is that category. Okay, the next one is Terms and Conditions. Now I absolutely do remember this book. Out of the whole trilogy, like, Declan stands on business, and he really is that protective billionaire that will just flash money at everyone to make females' love interests life even better. I also thought this had great dyslexic representation, and this was giving the grumpy billionaire trope that I absolutely needed. So yeah, Terms and Conditions, I feel like it should be It's Not Clocking to You That I'm Standing on Business. Although I'm not sure how I feel with Icebreaker being in that same category as Terms and Conditions. I feel like Icebreaker is low-key below that. So maybe we'll change that, who knows. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Yeah, I really adore this book. And honestly, this is my Shayla. Like, it did what it needed to do. It had the hallmark of her books, and I absolutely adore this book. I don't know if it's like everyone's favorite, but it's like top, like number one maybe for me, and I really enjoyed it. The fine print is one of Zara and Rowan, I'm pretty sure. Honestly, I'm that person that, like, as soon as I read a book, I immediately forget about the plot and what happens. So, like, if I remember a plot, it means it's really impacted my life. And clearly, the fine print didn't impact my life. And if it is Zara or Rowan, I'm pretty sure the characters were a bit annoying and just not giving what it needed to give. So I think it's going to go on the oh my god, what is that? Heartless by Elsie Silver. I really like this book at the Chestnut Spring series. It's like on my top like phase from the book series, and I just feel like the single dad trope who was very protective and is the older man will do it for me every time. And I've actually reread this book, so I think the fact that I've reread it, it's my Shayla. Like, it's not changed the BookTok romance genre, but it impacted me. So this book is definitely my Shayla. Okay, King agreed. I believe this was like the second chance romance between Dominic and is it Alexandra. Now, honestly, I don't want to put it on the bottom of the pyramid because I do think this is better than Twisted Love. But then also, like, out of the whole King of series, this is probably like my least favorite. Purely because, right, it's supposed to be a second chance romance, and I want all that yearning, and I just feel like the smut hit instantly in this book, and there was just no build up, and like, Alessandra was standing on business until like Dominic just immediately won her over. So, um, okay, we're gonna put it on the oh my god, what is that? Because I still had a fun time reading it. It was still easy to binge, but I don't think I hate it as much as the other ones. So we'll see. King of Pride, yeah, I really like this book. Okay, Kai, like, he was giving what he needed to give, and I love how quirky Isabella was. And oh my god, saying the word quirky makes me feel like I'm like that manic pixie girl in a Wattpad book. But Isabella was not that, and I really like that. So I'm gonna put that on. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business. Okay, guys, looking on this, I'm gonna move Icebreaker. Like, as much as I kind of appreciate it, I don't think it's like on the same level as Funny Story by Emily Henry, so we're gonna move you. Twisted Lives. Oh my god, I literally just had to Google this book. I just can't like remember each of the male main characters in Anna Huang's universe. And this is a book with Christian and Stella. And yeah, this was giving 50 Shades, but better, if I'm being honest. And like, I like how Stella had her ambitions of being a model, and I like how Christian was like really cool, creepy, low-key, stalkery tech guy, but he was doing it out of protection and love. And yeah, I like this one, so I'm gonna put it on. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business because Christian did what he needed to do to get his goal. Okay, Twisted Hate, yeah, I'm sorry, this is the bottom of the pyramid. I really did not like these characters. I thought they were just irritating, and I just felt like the jokes weren't even that funny and the banter wasn't that funny, so unfortunately, this is gonna go in the bottom of the pyramid. King of Envy. Okay, this is like my Shayla. When I read this early this year, I was in love. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything if you've not read it, but it had like all the micro tropes that I absolutely adore. And I feel like this was very interesting because the main guy, Vuk, he doesn't really like to speak that much, and I thought that was quite interesting for a famous book. And also the main girl, Ayana, she was black, and I think the way her culture was represented in this book was amazing, and it did touch upon racism in America just slightly. And I also liked how Anna Huang didn't make her being black like the whole focus of the story. As a person of color, sometimes you just want to read about a book that is about love and not about the racism we can endure. So anyway, that's a long tangent. All that to say, this is gonna go on my Shayla. Loki might be on Radio Yaya, but we'll see. Okay, Better Than the Movies is a really cute YA book, and I feel like this is actually what a YA book should be like. I think a lot of authors or like people on BookTok like to categorize books with more into the YA category, and I just don't think that's what we should be doing. So Better Than the Movies, I liked it as like a rom-com lover myself, and yeah, like it stood on business, and I appreciated what it did. Okay, yeah, Wildfire, like I just, I didn't mind it. It was given Golden Retriever, and it was kind of like the formula of Hannah Grace's books. I was a bit bored reading this because a lot of the time they're just on camp, and I'm like, camp is kind of boring, so that's gonna go in the bottom of the pyramid. King of Sloth, Xavier, and was it Sloane? I think her name was. And this is like the classic trope where like the PR manager is like, you need to get your shit together, and Xavier is like, nah, I'm a player, I don't want to get my shit together. But then they fall in love, and yeah, I like this one. I thought it was quite funny, and yeah, I'm gonna put it on. It's not talking to you that I'm standing on business. Okay, Powerless by Elsie Silver. I want to put it on. Oh my god, what is that? Because I did like it, and it's not like the worst of the series. But I can't really remember much from the plot. I also think there are better sports romances out there, and I don't really think it focused much on like them being a ballerina and him being a hockey player. It was more like their romance of like them being childhood friends to like lovers, which is fine. But I think sometimes you go into a book expecting something, and that didn't really exceed my expectations. So we're gonna put it on the oh my god, what is that? Archer's Voice. Now, I actually read this before it was like BookTok famous, not to toot my own horn or anything. And yeah, I really like this one. I think it's just really sweet, really emotional. And I don't know, is it in my Shayla? I mean, I've not reread it, but like it is a book that I really admire. So actually, we're gonna put it on my Shayla. I really like this one. Nothing like the movies. I feel like this is okay. I have mixed feelings on looking at the movies. I think it was a cute book, and I like how it showed like the realistic growth of like being a teenager and believing in love, and when you grow up, and then you don't really believe in love and like the rom coms as much. However, I feel like this book was only really made because of it, and then the movies was a very popular, successful book. I did like how the main guy Wes was like really like trying to win back his girl. So, I mean, it's weird because I think like I kind of preferred it to the first book. But then it's like, is that on the same category? Because it's not like it's my Shayla. Okay, we're gonna put it on my Shayla, but I do think maybe I should add another category, guys. I think for now, let's put Nothing Like the Movies in the same row as Better Than the Movies because they did what they needed to do. They gave the YA rom-com cutesy vibes that we needed. So maybe they are on the same category for now. Flawless by Elsie Silver. I liked it, and then I read the other ones in the series, and I realized this is probably like my like third favorite in the series. We're gonna put it on. It's not talking to you that I'm standing on business because let's be honest, it hooked me into the series, and it was just given the classic cowboy romance I needed to read. So yeah, 7 Days in June. Oh my god, if you have not read this book, this is like my Roman Empire. This is like raise your category because I think this is such a unique book. I liked how it was kind of like secondhand romance. I loved the chemistry, the banter. Talked a lot about like being a black author in the romance industry, which I thought was very interesting. And yeah, this is definitely a radio yeah. Oh my god, I didn't even mean to put this book next to that, but out on a limb, another Razor Yaya. I feel like this is low-key a 6-star read for me. I didn't really anticipate how much I was gonna love it until like I finished the book and I realized I wanted to reread it all over again. I think this was so sweet. It has amazing disability representation, and it was just done so well. And if you haven't read any of Hannah Bone and Young books, I'd recommend. Yours truly, I like this book. This kind of introduced me to the Abby Jimenez world, and I thought it was quite unique. I like the doctors sending each other notes, sort of thing. Let's put it on. It's not talking to you that I'm standing on business. The Spanish Love Deception. Right, these two did not actually hate each other. You have got to be kidding me if you actually believe they were enemies. This was very much one-sided. And yeah, is it a quick holiday book to read by the beach? Of course it is. But can I tell you what actually happens other than the fact that I'm pretty sure he learns a bit of Spanish and she's like in awe? Yeah, so we're gonna put that on the oh my god, what is that category? Okay, The Summer of Broken Rules. I like this book. I recommend this book. It's a very cute YA romance that is just definitely what you need to read by the beach. So yeah, I mean, do I love it as much as Book Lovers, Heartless, and King of Envy? But I do really like it, so we're going to put it on the it's not clocking tea that I'm standing on business, but I might move things around. Spiral by Belle Cabra. Oh my god, right. I go on about this book constantly on my own BookTok. If you know me, you know that I absolutely adore this book. I adore Belle Cabra's book, and I just really love that she's an author of colour getting the recognition that she deserves. I really enjoy Spiral, and it's definitely my Shayla. And I was actually lucky enough to receive the arc of Revolve, and I'm not included it on this list yet because it's not out yet. But oh my god, guys, Revolve is just it's low-key even better than Spiral, and I love Spiral, so keep an eye out for that one. And Reckless, yeah, Reckless is like on the same level as Heartless for me. I love this book so much. I love how Winter is like portrayed as like the really frigid girl, but she actually does have a heart, people. And Theo, like, he is the man that steps up when you need him to step up. So this is definitely a my Shayla. This could be us. Is it even a question? It's going to be on the Raise Your Ya category. I love the main character, Josiah and Soledad. Like, they are the cutest couple ever. I really like how this book talks a lot about self-love, self-respect. I like how it talks about like co-parenting, and there's also like really good representation of autism in children. This book has so much to it, and it made me cry, it made me giggle, and everybody needs a Josiah in their life. So yeah, Raise Your Ya. Next of kin, I really adore this book. This is going to go on my Shayla. It's another Hannah Bonham Young book, and I just think it was so unique. Like, I've not really read many books that talk about young guardians in like popular romance books. So yeah, I'd highly recommend this one. And then we have Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I love this book. This is my Shayla. I feel like Talia Hibbert is like such an underrated author, and I know this is supposed to be that BookTok phase, but I feel like she's more hyped up on Bookstagram. So if you're not on Bookstagram, you should get on it. And yeah, this introduced me into the world of like romance books with great representation, so this is gonna go on the My Shayla category. Yeah, guys, I wasn't done, so I've added more to the list because this has actually been quite a fun game. And if I've missed any books out, let me know in the comments below, and maybe we could do a part 2. Okay, so At Your Age, Eve Brown. Yeah, this is definitely on my Shayla category. I also really like this book, and I kind of prefer it to Get a Life, Chloe Brown, but they're both on the same level for me. And Sail Remember Me, right? This is literally like just not a romance book. It was so draining to read about, and I just feel like it was very much basically insta love. They got together in like the first 2 chapters. They remember me, yeah, this is bottom of the pyramid. I rated it 3 stars, but I feel like it's low key a 2.5, 2-star read. I know some people like it, but it's just not for me, not my cup of tea. You know what also isn't my cup of tea? The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Tell me why, right? I thought I was going to be reading the cutest, wholesome romance because the cover just looks so cute and autumnal and like Gilmore Girls in a cover. And I really fell for it. I did. And unfortunately, Pumpkin Spice Cafe just didn't, achieve what it wanted to achieve. I just felt like the plot was kind of boring. And I'm saying this as someone who actually loves a predictable romance book in a small town, romance. And I just feel like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, like, once they got together, the smut was just smut. And I just, like, yeah, it just wasn't for me. So this is going to go on the bottom of the pyramid, Maddie. Take a hint, Danny Brown. Now, hey, if Talia Hibbert didn't make this man Muslim, I would have preferred it a lot more. I don't really think this was a great Muslim representation, but it was nice seeing like a South Asian and Black romance. But unfortunately, like, I feel like it's very tricky if you do Muslim representation in romance books, and people will always disagree. And for me, this wasn't the representation that I wanted to see as someone who is Muslim. So I'm gonna put this on the oh my god, what is that? Because it had potential, but it was just didn't do what it needed to do. I hope this doesn't find you. I feel like this does class as a BookTok book, but I don't see a huge amount of people talking about this book. And if you love like K dramas, like C-dramas, that sort of energy, then this is like the book for you. It's like a mix up to all the boys and K-dramas, because the main girl sends out hate emails suggesting this boy that she absolutely despises. But of course, it gets leaked, and yeah, it was a really fun book to read. And I feel like it's low-key my Shayla, and I didn't realize how much I love this book until ranking it. So yeah, I need to own a physical copy of this one. King of Wrath, oh my god, yes. This is like next to King of Envy is King of Wrath, and I don't know which one is my favorite more, because Dante, like, he gave what needed to give. You literally fell in love with this girl whose father is like hellbent on ruining your life. And I feel like that is the energy I needed to read in a billionaire romance. See, I say it's on the same category as King of Envy, but now that I'm thinking about it, like, King of Wrath can do no wrong in my eyes. But then again, it didn't really change the whole BookTok landscape. I just think it's my favourite. So I'm going to put it on my Shayla, but it low-key could be on the Raise Your Yar category. And oh my gosh, right. If anyone rates It Ends With Us on anything above bottom of the pyramid, Maddie, like, I want to talk, because what are you seeing in this book that I don't see in this book? For one, let's forget about the Justin and Blake Lively drama related to the film. I feel like the reason why this book did well is because it has that shock effect. Yeah, I feel like like, as much as it is memorable, it's definitely bottom of the pyramid. Okay, next up is Honey and Spice. I love this book. I love how it really represented like UK university culture really well. It also represented black culture well. It was funny, it was witty, and yeah, I think it did what it needed to do, and I feel like it's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business. Kiss Koshian, yes, I love this book so much. I think it's so unique. I think it did actually change kind of like BookTok standards a little bit for me, and I think it deserves all the hype it gets, and it's got really good representation. So I don't know if it's on the My Shayla category or the Raise Your Ya 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 category. You know what? Let's put it on the Raise Your Ya 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 category. I feel like it deserves to be on the top shrine. And finally, we have Cross the Line. Now, if you are an F1 lover, an F1 fan, then this book probably will annoy you, because it annoyed me. I feel like I'm a fan of like the whole surge of F1 romance books, because I think it's so fun to have an F1 book like come up in the sports romance genre. But with Cross the Line, I do feel like, I don't know, like I think it was cool, the plot, but it did annoy me, and I don't think it was accurate at all to do like with F1, which I know, like, if you are reading a sports romance book, you should take things with a pinch of salt, but this just annoyed me slightly. So I'm going to put it on the bottom of the pyramid. I'm pretty sure I rated it 2 stars. But honestly, I feel like It Ends Up Us should have its own category, because that's like bottom of the bottom. And I would say Crossline is a bit better than It Ends Up Us. Okay, so let's have a look at my ratings. I'm actually quite happy with this. The Razor Yaya category is like elite. I'm in love with that. My Shaylas, definitely still agree with Book Lovers. I agree with Heartless, King of Envy, Archer's Voice, Spyro, Reckless. Yeah, I like these. I think these are really cute. I feel like I may move Act Your Age, Eve Brown. I like Get a Life, Chloe Brown more, so let's move that. And then, yeah, I agree with I Hope It Just Doesn't Find You and King of Wrath. Those are like my Shaylas. Not clocking to you that I'm standing on business. Funny story, yep, I agree. Twisted Game, yeah. Terms and Conditions, yeah. King of Pride, yeah. Twisted Lies, yeah, I'm gonna say. I still like that book. Better than the movies. I don't think there's anything that I'm like, I'm not too sure about. Actually, the only thing I'm not too sure about is the Summer of Broken Rules, because I feel like it's good, but then it's like, I feel like if you compare it to Funny Story, then Funny Story is going to come out on top in that fight. So yeah, but I feel like Summer of Broken Rules is doing what it needs to be doing, in the sense that I feel like there's a lack of cutesy YA romance books. I think right now there's a lot of like smutty romance books out there that are BookTok faves. So you know what? Let's keep it there. Oh my god, what is that? Yeah, I agree with the Love Hypothesis. Final Offer, yeah. I mean, this is the childhood romance one, and okay, I do feel like it's better low key than the fine print, because the fine print was annoying. So let's put this on It's Not Clocking Tea That I'm Standing on Business, because this should do childhood fantasy lovers really well. So yeah, there is that. Daydream, yeah, you're staying down there. Fine print, you're definitely staying down there. King of Greed, yeah. I mean, I feel weird because it's like next to Icebreaker, but King of Greed was annoying, so we'll put that there. Icebreaker, yeah. Powerless. Okay, right. Powerless is from this row best of the best. However, I do feel like it's just not going to be on the same level as like Flawless for me. So we'll leave that there. Spanish Love Deception, yeah. Take a hint, Danny Brown, yeah. Okay. Bottom of the Pyramid, Twisted Love, yeah. I'm sorry, I just can't get over how cringe Alex is. Hopeless, I just, yeah, that age gap romance wasn't for me. And I feel like the plot was a bit boring. I didn't really like the small town and how they treated the main girl. So yeah, Twisted Hate, yeah, the joke wasn't funny. And Wildfire, yeah, this also didn't add much to my life. Sail Under Me, yeah, definitely bottom. Pumpkin Spice Cafe and its sequel, the Strawberry Patch Cafe, I'll insert a picture on the screen. That should also be bottom of the pyramid. And after I read the Strawberry Patch Cafe, I realised I can't keep falling for how cute these covers look because unfortunately the cover does not. Thank you so much for watching my video. Let me know if you agree and it ends with us in the comments below, and let me know what other books you'd like to add to these categories, because I feel like I could have gone on about this for a very long time because I'm a very opinionated person. And yeah, I'm having so much fun with my YouTube channel. I'd love to know what sort of content you like to see, because right now I'm kind of just doing a bit of everything. A bit of vlogs, a bit of a book haul, a bit of bookshelf reorganization. And to everyone who's watched this video all the way to the end, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It means the world to me that I'm achieving little Maddie's booktuber dreams. And yeah, if you made it this far, comment below the most obscure emoji you can think of that like gives the same energy as this tier ranking. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!